Hey y'all, Scott here. I'm still in my journey to discover more hip-hop music, and in today's episode of There's Always a First Time, I'm going to be checking him, the legend, the one and only, one half of the respectable people in Paris, him, Jay-Z! Jay-Z. Do I really have to introduce him?
No!
The only thing that you might not know about him that I do is about the existence of this fantastic picture of him blowing bubbles to Blue Ivy, and they both look there trying to understand the science behind what's going on in the moment. That is one of my favorite pictures on the internet. I'm considering framing it. What do you think? I don't have a printer, so close enough. Anyway, now let's get to the real deal about this video. I'm about to listen for the first time to a Jay-Z album, and the one I chose to do the job, as you might have seen in the title, is the classic The Blueprint. I gotta admit, my knowledge of Jay-Z's music is pretty scarce. I know Empire State of Mind, I know 99 Problems, I know Hard Knock Life Ghetto Anthem, I know the story of O.J., and I know Respectable People in Paris. I think that's all I know of him. I'm writing this part of the script before actually listening to the album, so I have no idea how it sounds. I checked the tracklist and I know some songs in there by name, such as Izzo, Takeover, Renegade, and Girls Girls Girls. At least I think so, unless I'm thinking I know it because of the Motley Crue song. I'm having good hopes for this project. If Jay-Z is so well known and regarded as one of the best rappers of all time to this day, I will probably understand that listening to one of his biggest classics. Well, what am I waiting for? It's time for me to listen to The Blueprint. Let's go!
Stop it. Get some help.
Jay-Z's reaction. What? That's what I feel a lot of times when I'm watching LeBron too.
Alright, first thing to say. Those beats are immaculate. I heard the entire album, and those slick beats rarely let me down. Even the weaker points of the record are better than the best moments of some rap albums I've heard in the past. It might not be my favorite production and rap album I've ever heard, but I think it matches well with the ideals of Jay-Z. And it helps the tracks to become larger than life, just like Jay-Z's best songs always tend to sound. And I feel like I would be able to give better details talking about each track individually instead of the album as a whole. So, it's time to the track by track. Woo! Oh my god, he wasn't lying. The ruler is back. The opening track of an album is often a crucial one. It's the first impression your album is going to make, so you must make sure you are going to deliver something that will make people pay attention to what you're about to do. Or they might just leave and go listen to Nas. I probably shouldn't have bring up the sore spot. JJ, don't kill me please. Anyway, this album opens with a fantastic punch. That initial beat is basically saying, hey you, yeah you better sit down and listen to me, and you're gonna love it! And that's just the beat I'm talking about. After that we have the opening line of the album. I don't know about you, but I personally really like when albums open with a message for the listener. It makes me feel comfortable and invited to listen to the record, even if it's from a genre I'm not familiar with. And then the song actually starts with charming beats, even though a little repetitive. But the lyrics are filled with great references to Scarface, Stevie Wonder, and surprisingly Right Said Fred, that band of the I'm Too Sexy song.
What the hell?
And my personal favorite line of the track, making references to Rosa Parks and Malcolm X. I think it's already pretty clear this was a great introduction to the album, so shine that positive highlight spot here and let's move on to the next song. This is the song that set Jay's infamous feud with Nas on fire. 3 months later, Nas responded with the song Ether. And who won the battle? Oh god. I know this video is about Jay-Z, but... I don't know if this is a bias because I'm a Nas fan, but Ether to me is the better song. Nas' responses sound more savage than Jay's critiques, and the beat is also better. Takeover has a beat that's cool at first, but since the song's quite long, it gets weary very fast. I'm not saying the track is bad, I quite like it in fact. It has some interesting lines, the David Bowie's Fame samples are a great addition, but I do believe this song is far from being among the best moments of the record. And also... What? You do realize you coexist with It Was Written, right? There it is, the big thing of the album. What I think about it? Well, the chorus is stuck in my head like an unkillable earworm for days now, but besides that, I think it's pretty good. The song again opens with an introduction thanking the listener, which might seem odd, considering it's the third song of the record, and the first one already did that. But since this is the album's lead single, it's totally forgivable. It's just kinda strange when you're listening to the album, but I feel like if you removed that from the album version, it would sound even weirder, so I prefer it that way. The lyrics here are very cool. It's Jay-Z telling his story, with each verse of the song being a chapter of his life. The first verse representing the days he used to be a drug dealer in his home state. The second verse talks about his struggles with the music industry when he was just starting out. And the third verse being him looking back to his tough childhood, with a hopeful tone for the future. And we also have the beat. This thing is stuck in my head for like 3 days now, and it doesn't want to leave, no matter what I do about it. That doesn't mean it's bad, it's actually a very good beat. Just like the opening track, it has a larger than life tone that it fits well with Jay's persona. I personally prefer the beat of the Ruler's back, but Izzo also stands out quite well. It might not be as great as the other song, but it's still good enough to be a positive highlight to me. So Jay-Z is now covering Motley Crue songs. Huh, that's interesting. No, for real, I know this is an original song, but could you imagine how would it be if it really was a cover of Motley Crue's tune? Yikes. Anyway, about the song. The beat is mellower than the previous one, more soulful, with a stronger R&B influence, and it's okay. It's not a song that I go nuts over, but I do quite like it. Yet I feel like Jay-Z's vocals are mixed too low, so the beat ends up taking too much space of the mix. The beat is a cool contrast to the previous ones of the record, and lyrics are... something. It's a more laid-back song than the previous ones. And it's kinda confusing to me, because the overall message seems to be about him loving the women of his life. And then we have the third verse that is just... wow! And in the middle of that, we also get some exquisite lines, such as the chicken one. That chicken line totally got me off guard. How did he came up with this? By the way, besides that, the song is one that I enjoyed, but it's not one of my favorites of the record, despite being an essential track of the album. God damn, this song is so 2000 it hurts! I'm pretty sure this is the song that set the standard for other rap songs that came out later in the 2000s, because the sensual Asian-styled beat reminds me way too much of that time. I'm feeling like watching Foster's Mansion for Imaginary Friends now because of that. Besides that, I don't really think I have to say anything about the song. I mean, I like it, but to me it's just fine. I don't see any notable lines. The beat does the job, but that's it. And I have no idea what the lyrics of this one are about. So yeah, it passes. I'm just not very crazy for it. This song is pretty good. The beat has a really strong flair to it that makes it almost sound like Jay-Z's Almighty. The lyrics are cool. They're talking about the quintessential rap subject. So yeah, I really like this song, especially wait a minute. The conclusion I got is that this song, despite being one that I like, I can't find any notable characteristics about it. I will return to it for sure, but besides the beats on Kanye's signature production, I don't think I will remember much about it. So, when I saw for the first time the name of the song, I thought it meant Hello Little Egg. My Spanish sucks, what do you expect? But do you wanna know what doesn't suck? This song! Actually, it's so good it's a positive highlight to me. As the title suggests, the song has a strong Spanish heat that combines really well with the grandiose street vibe that the beat in itself brings. The lyrics are good, even if they don't have a true standout point to me. Maybe the Sinatra line or the reference to Reasonable Doubt. The hook of the song might be weaker compared to Izzo or Girls Girls Girls, but a song doesn't need to have a powerful hook to be great. This is just a really enjoyable song to listen. The beat is fire, Jay's flow is great, and sometimes that's all you need to have a great song. Remember when I said the beats of the song are immaculate? So, I got this conclusion because of the song. I feel like this was expected. This seems to be a pretty beloved song, and I totally understand why. Drop the positive highlight here. The beat is more melancholic in the song. Listening to the instrumental version of this track makes me feel like going to the main street at night. after a rain and just watching the lights, thinking about life. And the lyrics, oh dear. They made me feel like his reality is mine, even if I don't relate with it in the slightest. That's how effective H.O.V.'s performance is. And also to me, this has to be one of my favorite songs that Kanye produced. And I hella love his production style. I like him more as a producer than a rapper, so that's saying something. God, I just don't know what else to say. Just... the song is the best track of the album. Oh my god, this is beautiful!
This is brilliant, but I like this.
I feel the way I feel because the song comes right after the Titan, that is Heart of the City. But in the album context, I don't really think the song's that great. And I'm sure that's the only reason for that. Because when I heard the song individually, I loved it. The beat here feels cold as the night, which is a feeling I love. The sample Davey Ruffin vocals that say the title of the song sounds full of feeling, and they're pretty much necessary here. And for the lyrics, we do have some great lines in here. Especially the one about fishers, that's the one I love the most. And when you combine the cold blue beat with the lyrics that talk about upbringing, this makes this the song of this record that most brings the feeling of hope. However, it's not a positive highlight, because in the album context it gets weakened by the previous track. If it was rearranged, sure, but as the way it is, it won't fit very well, sorry. We had a few bluer tracks before, but I believe this is the saddest moment of the record. Song Cry is clearly a song about the end of a long relationship and Jay's struggle to show his emotions. I really respect that, because he's showing a more vulnerable side of him, showing that even Jay-Z, the almighty boss that he was showing in the beginning of the record, has issues and can feel depressed every once in a while, and this makes us see him more as a human than a godly figure. All of this without mentioning the beat, that fits very nicely with the idea of the song. It sounds downbeat, thoughtful, hollow, and cold, so it emphasizes well the lyrics of the song, making it to me one of the most potent songs of the record, and therefore a positive highlight here. Wow, what a streak. 4 great songs in a row. Will this next song live up to those? Nope. Yeah, I don't really care about that one. The lyrics are boastful and about consumerism, and that aggravates the fact that they sound shallow. In general, it's a pretty okay song, but I don't think I will listen to it again, unless I'm re-listening to the album. I might skip this one in fact. So, negative highlight here, especially considering the next song is... After All I Need, I wasn't expecting many songs to blow my mind from this point on. But then, it came Renegade. Boy, if I could name one more best track to this record, it would be that one. It feels so mighty, especially with those monstrous lyrics and fierce melody. It's easily one of the most intense moments of the entire record. My only main critique is that it's more an Eminem song than a Jay-Z song. It makes me feel like while Eminem is doing his thing, he goes so nuts over it that he keeps going. And Jay-Z is just staring awkwardly in the corner, thinking like, bro, the song is mine, what the hell, do you want the song for you? Besides that detail, this is to me an obvious positive highlight that deserves all the love it gets. This is another song where H.O.V. looks back to his life, talking about his childhood, his rise, and who helped him become the man he is. It's honestly one of the most beautiful songs of the record. It sounds passionate here. The beat is very mellow but touching, and the lyrics hit at familiar places at points. And since the record was mostly filled with lush, boastful songs and occasional sentimental moments, a very effective ending to the record is to see him looking back to his roots. It's not the first time he did that, even in this record, but it's certainly the most effective. So I'm glad this is the way the album ends. Except it's not. So yeah, there's 2 hidden songs after the theoretical closing track of the album. I'm going to review them too, after all they are part of the album, right? The first of the 2 is Breathe Easy, which is my favorite of these hidden tracks. It has a really cool piano-based beat that is one of those that you can listen non-stop without a problem. The only real thing I have to criticize here is that Jay-Z's flow is a little clunky at points here, but besides that, it's a pretty darn good song. I kinda just prefer the album ended with Breathe Easy. It does have a cool beat. In this part 2 the mixing problem on the first part was fixed, but I think I still prefer to return to the first part instead of this one, because it's a little more charismatic. This one is fine, it's just... I don't really see myself returning to it. And since it's the last song of the album, this is lame. I just don't say it's a negative highlight, because the pros outdo the cons here. For my first Jay-Z album, I gotta say I really enjoyed the experience. The Blueprint was a great album. I might have been a little harsh in some songs in full honesty, but keep in mind, all of the songs here are at the very least good, and at the very best, fantastic. The contrast between triumphant bangers, to mellower bops, to enjoyable jams, make it one of the best rap albums I've heard so far. And because of that, it's gonna get the highest score I ever gave to a record in the TAFT series. 94% superb.